ones that work are the ones that are very simple.
The great hosts, the ones who've had long and enduring careers, are those that love what they do. They're passionate about what they do. You can see Alex Trebek every day when he does an episode of Jeopardy. He loves doing that show. He's totally in the moment. He's not phoning it in. And I think, again, all the great hosts, I've represented a few over the years. I represent Howie Mandel, and I've Tom Kennedy and Richard Dawson, and they loved what they did. They weren't embarrassed about what they did. They loved every moment of their job.
They were primetime live events because it was happening right there in the moment, and people were winning big money.
Good evening. I'm Jack Barry. Tonight here on 21, Herbert Stemple, our 29-year-old GI college student, can win $111,500, the highest amount of money ever to be won on television.
And of course, those were the shows that were deeply involved in the quiz show scandals.
From New York City, Mr. Charles Van Doren, and returning with $69,500 from Forest Hills, New York, Mr. Herbert Stemple.
Geritol was unhappy with the way the show was going. It wasn't exciting enough for them. They thought that there wasn't enough dynamic going on in the show.
Producers started to give the contestants the answers, and they started to orchestrate the drama of the game. At first, the fallout from the game show scandals was that Congress actually passed a law that it was illegal to cheat on a televised game show.
You look back at Match Game, which was all about innuendo.
The first time a boy kissed Susie, she blank.
Gene Rayburn, he conducted that orchestra of weirdos brilliantly.
Valerie, the big bad wolf, said I just came from a house where this old lady had the biggest blanks I ever saw.
Gene Rayburn was an amazing host because he was able to find the line between humor and irreverence, and that type of sincerity has rarely been approached by many other hosts.
Yes. Speaking of bazooms, Fanny, would you show us yours?
Well, I said
Gene Rayburn, who was a genius, and nobody realized what a genius he was until after the fact.
I say, get off of one. I mean, get off of one. Get off. Get off.
All the writers and PAs, everybody had a job at the studio on taping days, and my job was to cue Gene with the contestant's name or anything that he had to know. I'd hold up the cue card, but the most important job was going to commercial. Now, this one day, I was a little bit late in queuing for a commercial.
Trish picked up two there. Now,
Gene had already turned around and was ready to ask the question. I flipped the cue card that said commercial, and Gene turned around. He hated when I flipped that card.
What? Oh, hey, we want to go to commercial. You're late in holding the sign up, weren't you?
He grabbed the card out of my hand and started beating me over the head with it.
All right, I'll tell you what we do. When you're late holding the sign up, we have to... Now, will you remember to hold the sign up one time? Okay, fade to black, go to commercial. Roll tape, go.
When they were starting up Match Game, they were looking for some regular celebrities to be panelists on that show. So my dad got the job along with Brett Summers and Charles Nelson Riley, and the show was a big hit. And he really wanted to host a show. So he negotiated with Mark Goodson that the next show that came up, they were going to try him out as a host. He was reading the trades one day, and he saw that there was going to be a new pilot that Goodson Todman was doing, and it was called Family Feud. And they had tapped William Shatner to be the host. So my dad's manager, Leonard Granger, went to see Mark Goodson, and he said, if you don't give my client a shot at this show, I'm going to instruct him during the tapings of Match Game to not be funny, to not say a word except hold up his answer. That's it. Mark Goodson said, "You wouldn't do that." And Leonard said, "Watch me." Well, later that day, they got a phone call. My dad went in. He did the audition. The rest was history.
Family Feud. With the star of Family Feud, Richard Dawson.
Richard Dawson was one of the funniest men alive. Very inventive, very creative, and a true wit.
During what months of pregnancy does a woman begin to look pregnant?
September.
Something.
I remember a particular incident. There was an answer, and it just cracked him up, and he just couldn't stop laughing.
September, of course. It's so obvious, isn't it? It's kind of embarrassing.
It seemed like about 5 minutes of airtime. Sure, it was him trying to stop laughing.
Oh, here we go, Doctor. No, this is comic serious.
The talent that is able to get the best out of regular people, which Richard Dawson was able to do. He was a genius. You have that magic formula that works.
Darling, what do you think? A product is designed to wear out in a certain period of time.
An iron.
All appliances are up there. See with the word appliance up there?
That's not an appliance. Freezer?
All appliances. That'd be like your blenders and your toasters, your coffee pots and your can openers, your microwave ovens, I guess, your stoves. Yeah, that would all be together, darling.
Oh, I see the appliances is up there. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I just don't want you to be.
He also really cared about the contestants. And that's really how the whole kissing thing started.
It began because there was a woman, an older woman, very nervous, and Richard relaxed her by giving her a kiss. After she got a kiss, all the other women contestants that day wanted a kiss too.
And so it kind of snowballed and became this thing. The network came to my dad and they said, "You've got to stop the kissing." And so my dad went out on the air and he said, "I will stop it, but only if the viewers tell me to stop it." They got thousands and thousands of cards. Overwhelmingly, 95%, yes, keep the kissing. So he kept the kissing.
And the Johnson family, Wendy, Heidi, Gretchen, June, and Bob.
I never thought as a game show contestant I would be married to the host of Family Feud.
Something that builds your appetite.
Well, making love?
That's why I haven't been able to eat lately.
I came home on that Tuesday night and I went to bed. It was around midnight and the phone rang and he said, it's Richard Dawson. And I didn't know if I was dreaming or somebody's playing a prank. And he said, "Oh, I'd really like to have you over and have dinner." So I called my mom and dad and I asked them, "Did Richard Dawson call you and invite you up for dinner?" And no. And I asked my sisters, no, he wants you to come up for dinner.
What survey said?
He was exactly how he was on this show at home. Just charming and funny. And we just saw each other all the time. We ended up getting married. It was a long time that we dated, but it just worked out for us.
A lot of my earliest memories of game shows was going down to the set of Truth or Consequences, which was the first game show that my father was ever involved with.
And now, here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the star of
Bob Barker was a very